I speak now to Daoud Kuttab. He's a Middle East analyst and joins us from Amman. Great to have you on the programme. And what's been the reaction to this important and good news?
Well, it is good news that the U.S. is back in town. The Trump administration has been totally absent and has tried to use cutting off support, humanitarian support, as a way of pressuring political decisions. You don't decide people's future by just cutting off money. And so I think it's back to normal, but we still need a lot more help in getting the infrastructure and the basic issue of Palestinian-Israeli peace back on the tracks. Israel is still building settlements, Israel is still demolishing houses, and until we can get that stopped and then beginning the process on a two-state solution, the money is not the only solution.
Indeed, the money is not the only solution. And do you at all foresee President Biden reversing other Trump decisions on the Palestinian-occupied territories?
Well, I think, we have elections coming up on May 22nd, and we hope that we will be able to have a unified Palestinian delegation to any future peace process. But we really need the U.S. to be much more engaged. I know that they have much more interest in the Iran deal and in the Paris agreement and so on. But the Palestinian-Israeli conflict is very important for the Arab countries and the Islamic countries. And I think the U.S. has to put serious attention to this issue.
And, OK, so now funding has been restored to UNRWA. But what about countries such as Bahrain, the UAE, that cut funding to this agency? Do you see that changing?
Well, the Gulf countries really never were main supporters of UNRWA. And UNRWA, to be fair with you, was only supported by Western countries because they didn't have the political will to solve the refugee problem. So they tried to kind of manage the problem rather than solve it. And so we want a solution to the refugee problem and to the general Palestinian problem. And so, yes, it's important for all countries to be involved in supporting UNRWA, but we also want all countries to be involved in bringing a genuine peace and a long-term and just peace to the region and to solve the refugee problem. What the Israelis and the Trump administration wanted to do was to cancel the refugee problem by canceling money to UNRWA, and that's why many Gulf countries chipped in and helped. I hope that they're all involved in supporting UNRWA and supporting the Palestinian government. But what we really need is political solution as well.
And speaking of politics, Israeli politics, the foreign minister gave a statement reacting to the renewal of US aid. An interesting comment. It says UNRWA in its current form perpetuates the conflict and does not contribute to its resolution. How do you understand that?
Well, Israel has had two faces on this issue. Privately, they say they want UNRWA to stay because they know that UNRWA makes sure that Gaza doesn't explode. And so they've been privately supporting the idea of refunding UNRWA. But politically, especially now that they have very sensitive talks for the government in Israel, they're trying to play it both ways. Privately, they want Americans to support, but publicly, they want to always bash into UNRWA and to bash the idea of supporting UNRWA. So it's hypocritical on the Israeli side, but fine, and let them say whatever they want.
Daoud Kuttab, Middle East analyst, speaking to us from Jordan, Amman. Thank you very much indeed for your analysis. Appreciate it.